Hi everyone, it's Paul here. This time with another connection video. And in this little video, I'm just going to give you my way. It's not the only way, but I think this is a method that will work for the majority of people. This is my way of connecting a Ketron instrument to a Korg PA. Yes, I'm using Pa5X, and for my Ketron, I'm using the amazing Ketron EVM module, but the same would apply whatever model of recent PA that you may own, and this also applies if you have the Ketron Event X module, or indeed you want to connect a Ketron Event keyboard to the Korg and have them running side by side. The first thing we need to do is make sure we have some important connections made, namely MIDI and audio. Without those being correct, this will not work. So, a MIDI cable, 5-pin on either end. You need to connect to, on the Ketron, it goes to MIDI in, and there are two MIDI ins. One is labeled MIDI in keyboard, and that is the one you want to use. And you take the other end of the cable, and at the rear of the Korg, you will find MIDI out. Often people get that mixed up because they think, oh, I'm feeding the Ketron into the Korg, so I need to use MIDI in on the Korg. No, this is your master keyboard, and this sends the messages out to the Ketron to give the Ketron instruction as to what to do. So it's MIDI out on your Korg to MIDI in keyboard on the Ketron. The other connection, which is vital, is audio. So we need to take audio left and right output, in my case on the EVM module, and here's the important thing. You go to line in on the back of the Korg. Do not try and use the microphone inputs. It is line in that you need to use. So I've got two 1/4-inch jacks coming left and right out of the EVM module to left and right line in on the Korg, in this case Pa5X. We now need to set up the relevant MIDI channels. So if you go into the settings menu, and we'll choose MIDI. And the tab that you need down the right is MIDI out, because that's what we're connected to on the Korg. And this is ever so simple. Using the drop-down menus, set channel 1 to upper 1, channel 2 to lower, and the rest can be set to off. Now at this point, what I would do is come up to the 3 lines at the top and save MIDI preset. Now I've already done this, and I've saved a MIDI preset. If we have a look at my MIDI here, I've saved a MIDI preset called Ketron Event, and it will remember those settings, and you can call this up whenever you want to use it. The next thing you need to do, and this is vital, before you will hear anything come through from the Ketron, we need to go over to our main button here, make sure the view is on the buttons, and switch on line on. That's basically an on-off switch for those line inputs on the back of the Korg. So without that on, you will hear nothing. As soon as we put line on, that is the piano sound from my Ketron EVM module coming through. So that will bamboozle a lot of people, because they will make all the correct connections and forget the one simple thing, which is to switch line on. There is one other thing to do on the Korg, and this is your personal choice. I prefer to use upper 1 and lower solely for the Ketron. I still have upper 2 and upper 3 to mix in my Korg voices with it, but I choose to leave this. If you look, when we switch the line on off, you're not even hearing the Korg sound. And that is because I've switched upper one and lower to only respond to an external device and not to play the internal sound. How do we do that? We go into menu and we go into track controls. And above each channel at the top here, we've got the choice between internal, none, external, or both. I set mine to external on upper one and lower. That means I won't hear Korg sounds through those two sound sections. But as we said, you've still got upper two and upper three if you wish to mix Korg sounds with it. The final thing I do on the Korg is, with that setting in mind, I now just create a songbook entry, and that will remember in that songbook entry that upper one and lower are set to external. So that is the setup on the Korg. Make sure you save both the MIDI preset, and I would recommend save a songbook entry that enables you to go back to external there just as a starting point. You can obviously build up future songbook entries with those also set to external. Let's now swap to the Ketron and look at the MIDI settings on the Ketron. Okay, so yeah, here we are with the Ketron EVM screen in front of me now. The same will apply, as we've already said, on the Event X and indeed the Event keyboard. So we now need to set our MIDI settings on the Ketron. If you go into menu, and the option we choose, of course, is MIDI. I use the standard MIDI and I just edit it. So we press edit. This time we need to look at receive channels. TX means transmit or out, and RX means receive or in. Well, we're going to the MIDI in on the Ketron, so we need to look at the receive channel settings. And again, it's very, very simple. Everything is off apart from right and left. Right needs setting to 1, because if you remember, upper 1 we got to set to channel 1, and left to channel 2, which matches the lower channel here on the Korg. And that basically is it. The only other thing I do is go to filter, and I filter out certain messages, because MIDI sends messages. Program change means if I press a button on here, I don't want it to send a message to change the sound on the Ketron. Therefore, I filter out any program changes. So program change, volume, expression, reverb, chorus, tabs, I filter those out. You can do exactly the same if you choose to. Exactly the same as we did on the Korg. I now press save and just save that preset, and it will update that standard MIDI preset for you. So that is it. We're now ready to play. So whatever sound I choose on the Ketron now, providing upper one is selected. So in this case, we've got an electric piano. And providing the lower button is on the Korg, as soon as we start the rhythm, all my chord changes work. I can hear my lower voices coming from the Ketron. And that is how you connect a Ketron EVM, Event X, or Event keyboard to a Korg PA.